Hey, Traveler, what a surprise! I didn't expect to see you here. Go. I bet you didn't waste any time as soon as you heard that Inazuma was organizing a test of courage event, right? Huh?
Oh,
I know
man.
you. Oh, what am I
so we
doing?
Got the Ito voice actor.
You're scouting out the place. I've been investigating the area and have already figured out all the plans for the event. Of course, I can tell you all the details. We're practically family. I'm Max Middleman, and this is the Genshin Impact version 3.3 special program. Let's roll the version 3.3 trailer.
All right, starting right off with the trailer. Let's do it. All right, I hope there's something interesting in here.
A friendly word of advice.
They better
Test
show
of
off
courage
exactly
events
what they
tend to
want
give rise
to
to a variety of strange rumors and stories. So please, be sure to exercise caution.
How was that? Were you scared? Who goes there?
So, is there really a ghost around here? Why this time I have a feeling that it's staring right at us?
Are you talking to me?
If we passed October, how are we having like a Hutao ghost thing?
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me.
From this day forth, Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Dottore. Dottore! In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Make those little wind slides. Is he a catalyst user then?
You dare to gaze upon me?
Dare to mess with me?
Okay, there's Faruzan supposed to be the new animal support. I didn't see a weapon from him. I feel like he's got to be a catalyst user then.
Scaramouche. The mere fact
This
of
thing
your
is like
utility
bumping. Let me turn
does
it down.
not make you indestructible.
All senses clear. All exist. Okay. More Scaramouche. Oh, we got the first Primo Code. Act now. They redeem that right now. Three Primos. I like it. I want it. Now we gotta sit here and wait for this to finish. Okay. Kind of blocked on my screen. All right, let me full screen it for anyone who wants to see the Primo Code. Be watching me. Go.
And welcome to the Genshin Impact version 3.3 special
Alright, let's see.
I'm your host, Sarah Miller-Cruz, the voice of Lumine in
Got
Genshin Impact.
Lumine.
And today, I'm joined by...
Max, the one and only Middleman, voice of the one and only Arataki Ito.
The one and only?
And
Okay.
I'm Patrick Pedraza, voice of the Wanderer. But up until now, Travelers have only known me as Scaramouche, and everyone's been battling me in the game lately.
Yeah, that's true. But to be fair, it's a really cool fight.
It's a really cool fight.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if it's a
Super
really
excited
cool
to have the
fight.
chance to
It's
share some upcoming
slightly
content
different,
with
but
everyone.
really
Why
cool.
don't
Yeah, you
all
guys are
check out
cap.
that trailer?
Okay, so I definitely saw Irminsul in there, and I am really excited to find out more about it.
Yeah, that trailer had everything. It had everything. It had action.
I gotta log
It
into
had
my Hoyoverse
drama.
account. Oh, man.
It was
So I know my
lighthearted in
password.
places, but it was dramatic.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just super stoked for everyone to see Scaramouche's like backstory. I'm super excited about it for reals.
Heck yeah.
Well, speaking of that, following the story's development, Scaramouche is still in Nahida's custody.
Yeah, I was
So
just thinking
the
like that.
next
Isn't he
question
imprisoned or
everyone's
something?
wanting to know is how he'll become the Wanderer.
Yeah, for sure. And there's quite a story behind that. If you're interested, then be sure to play through the Archon Quest interlude chapter, Inversion of Genesis.
Okay.
There is so much to learn in this quest.
Nah, I'm good.
So I
Not
hope
interested.
Everyone checks it out.
Oh, come on, man. You can't just leave everyone hanging like that. How about some hints? Come on, please. Please.
All right. How can I
Yes.
say no to a cute chibi-ito?
You can't.
Here's a little preview from the quest.
We ran into two people at the academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. From what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Oh.
That was weak. That was weak. That what?
Why are they talking about Tatarasuna?
What kind of teaser is that?
It is interesting, though, to see the Traveler, Nahida, and Scaramouche all together so peacefully like that.
Yeah, but in this interlude chapter, Nahida will task the Traveler and Paimon with keeping an eye on Scaramouche while we go with him into Irminsul in search of some information.
Oh, interesting. So obviously Nahida must have some reason for deciding to keep Scaramouche around.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I'm liking Scaramouche's new style. Ooh, dude's looking sharp.
Heck yeah, always. No, right. And
I
at
guess
this
not the
point,
music's
he's
down.
known
Turn
by
them
a
back up a little.
completely different name, the Wanderer. I love that name.
Okay, so I know I'm not the only one who's curious about what happened. I mean, it looks like he's really changed a lot.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm
He got
afraid that's all
bodied.
we can show for now. Travelers will
That
have
boy
to
was
experience
super
the story
cocky and
for
got put in his
themselves
place.
In-game. I mean, it's better to explore the storyline without too many spoilers, right?
True.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay, we'll leave the rest for travelers to discover themselves. But the Wanderer is also going to be a new playable character in version 3.3. So let's talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm
please
sure
show off the
many
kit.
of our viewers are curious
you.
about his talents.
Heck yeah, sure thing. Let's have a look at the Wanderer in combat.
Okay, there we go.
There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. The wind rises.
But he's got to be a catalyst user. Like, I've not seen a weapon yet. Yeah, it looks like he's shooting all animal attacks. Definitely a catalyst user.
All right, Patrick, you're up. Help introduce the Wanderer.
That was
for
kind of
us.
Sure thing.
little
The Wanderer
whack.
is a catalyst user and
Thank
has
you.
an animo vision, so he uses wind blades to perform ranged normal attacks.
Wait a second, wind blades?
Not the same as the Traveler's wind blade, though.
Okay.
So, as everyone probably already noticed, the Wanderer
this dude can just straight fly?
He casts his elemental skill. Upon using his elemental skill, he will first deal AoE damage before leaping into the air and entering a hovering state. So,
Yo, this
while
dude can
hovering,
just
the
fly.
Wanderer's normal and charge attacks will be converted
Okay,
into
I
Echo,
actually
Kushigane,
might get
and
him
Fubuto
just for the
Fukai,
fact that
respectively. The
I can
damage
just fly
they
around.
deal and their AoE will be increased. Their damage will be considered normal and charge attack damage, respectively.
Yo, this
Also,
dude can just
Kubuto
fly.
Fukai will not consume stamina, and he can remain hovering for a certain duration.
That's so awesome. He can fly.
I know, right? But he can't stay hovering forever. While hovering, the Wanderer constantly consumes Kuguryoku points to maintain his hovering state, which is the blue.
So like he has his own
you see on the
stamina
screen.
bar for flying.
Even if he
But still
doesn't
though, that's
move
pretty
or
good.
attack, hovering will still consume Kuguryoku points.
Okay.
So this mechanic works a little differently than our typical stamina meter. There are many possible actions the Wanderer can perform while hovering in the air, which all rely on Kuguryoku points.
Oh,
rather
okay.
than
So like
stamina.
you're attacking
So,
is that
for
bar
example,
too.
sprinting mid-air will consume additional Kuguryoku points to accelerate mid-air, and holding the
Damn.
sprint button will cause persistent point consumption to maintain speed. So this effect will replace his default sprint. Jumping
I see.
expends extra Kuguryoku points to increase hovering height. Holding jump will cause persistent Kuguryoku point consumption to keep increasing.
But I like, oh,
hovering
that's
height.
sick. You can just get up there
Of
and hit them.
course, running out of points will end his hovering state.
All right, so in order to get the
Okay,
maximum
so
damage out
travelers
of
need to
that,
plan their actions
yeah.
while hovering.
Exactly.
you definitely need to know
So,
what you're
with his
doing. So
talent,
it's about
Jade
how
Claim
many times you can
Flower,
attack.
When casting his elemental skill, if it contacts Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electro, that instance of the skill will receive a corresponding buff effect depending on which element was contacted.
Wait, so he doesn't
So, for
swirl, he
example,
just buffs?
Increasing his Kuguryoku points cap, attack, crit rate, or restoring a set amount of energy upon hitting opponents with a normal or charged attack. The Wanderer can have up to 2 different kinds of these buffs simultaneously.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, look, check that
But
out.
so he
Part
doesn't
of the
swirl
halo
though. That's
effect
kind of
can
weird.
change its color depending on the buffs you get. So travelers will be able to easily understand what effects the Wanderer currently has.
I like that. It's helpful and still looks really cool.
Yeah.
So after unlocking another talent, Gales of Reverie, when the Wanderer is in the hovering state, if his normal or charged attack hits an enemy, there is a set chance to gain another buff effect, allowing him to sprint mid-air without consuming Kuguryoku points. Additionally,
Oh,
this
is that the
buff
little
effect
bell
will
so that you
fire
can move
wind
around?
arrows
Oh, that's
to
kind of
attack the
good. That's
enemy.
helpful because I'm thinking like, man, you gotta
Dope. I'm sure
gotta
extra
dodge
effects
to get
like
out of
that
the
will go
way.
a long way for players
then
like
that would kind of suck.
Yeah, for sure. And if you've noticed, there is a colorful aura of light around his body to indicate when
Yeah,
that buff effect
you
is
can
triggered.
dash.
That's
So
pretty
you gotta
cool.
kind of hope that you get
I
attacked
love all
during
the
that
detail
little
they
buff
put into
effect.
The Wanderer.
All right, this brings us to the Wanderer's elemental burst.
Sweet.
Yay!
So check this out. Upon unleashing his burst, he
That seems
compresses
pretty
the
quick.
atmosphere and stomps it down toward the enemy. So travelers should note that if the Wanderer is in a hovering state when he unleashes his burst, then the hovering state will end and he will begin descending after the burst is completed.
Okay, this stomping
So you wanna do it at the
animation
end
is
of your
a little
skill.
aggressive.
Yeah, but it's cool.
I know, and it actually
You know what
fits
I'm
his
not
character.
seeing though? I'm
Yeah,
not seeing
I
any
know.
energy particles come towards him when he
Wait,
uses
wait,
his
let's
skill.
not
So
forget
does that
about the
mean he has to
exploration
get the
talent.
buff
Ah,
that
yes.
replenishes
This
energy?
is an interesting one. The Wanderer can decrease the mora required when ascending bows and catalysts.
Hey now, you can never complain about saving Mora.
Okay,
am I
wait.
right?
Shit.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to
that's
rewind
true.
this so we can read that talent
All right,
effect on
now
the
that we've
weapon.
seen the Wanderer, let's move on
crit
to
damage
the next
based.
new character. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yay!
It's gonna be specialized to him. Shout out to all you Kagura's Borough Witif
Oh, what did
holders.
you say? Oh, I'm old now, so every other phrase escapes my ears. Try calling me Madam
I feel like you're gonna have to
Faruzan.
build him standard
Then I'll
attack
see if I
crit
can pick that up.
and or attack damage crit instead of iridescent, since his skill doesn't seem to swirl. Just get effects based off of
What is it that you would like to learn more about? Different forms of
The
pressure-based
ability.
puzzle mechanisms?
but just being able to
Player
fly,
design
I
elemental
don't know, that's
monuments?
kind of sick.
Wait, did you forget to call me Madam Faruzan just now when you asked your question? Whoa! What? There's nothing wrong with being afraid of thunder, even at an older age.
Oh,
She
sounds
sassy.
yeah,
I know.
and smart too.
She seems so awesome.
Let's see.
She's fun.
I wonder what her skirt's made
I
out
know,
of.
her design is so cool and really detailed. I love it.
So even though she looks super young, she's actually an old person. Like, where's my teeth?
Well,
Bruh.
she's not that old.
I
Oh,
don't know,
right.
could've fooled me.
Faruzan's age is probably still nothing compared to Scaramouche.
Mm-hmm. But let's call him the Wanderer, Sarah. Please.
Okay, you know who I meant. Actually, now that I think about it, yokai can also live a really long time too.
That's right.
I just
yeah,
realized my
speaking
chat
of
box
age,
is covering
isn't
up the
traveler's
third
age
person.
also kind of mysterious?
Hilarious.
That's true. It looks like all of our characters are intriguing. But it's safe to say that Faruzan is way older than most people in Teyvat. Faruzan works in the Academia's Haravatat Darshan and has been a hairbod, which roughly means mentor, for over a century.
So I bet everyone out there is wondering
How
if
is she
she's
100?
also some kind of creature blessed with long life, you know? Like Klee?
No, she's actually just your regular, typical human being.
Oh.
Well, maybe not so typical.
That's Cat.
About 100 years ago, Faruzan was an undisputed genius, traveling all around Sumeru and solving many puzzles and mysteries. The notes she left behind eventually became the basis of mechanical research for later generations.
Whoa, she sounds pretty amazing.
But later, she accidentally stumbled into some ruins while trying to solve a puzzle. There, she
So she's
encountered
actually
some
older than
strange
100 years
phenomenon
old.
which stopped her from aging, and was trapped there for nearly 100 years.
Woo.
She eventually solved the puzzle and was able to finally return to Sumeru.
Can you imagine being trapped in a puzzle for 100 years?
Yeah.
Wait,
That'd be trash.
So that's how she's been hairbod for over a century.
Yeah. And even now, she still has the pride of a scholar in her heart and is a very talented person. It's just that after being separated from the world for so long, she's kind of fallen behind the times now.
Oh, hey, I get what you mean. She was once a proud researcher in a niche field that has become unpopular after 100 years. So, is she still completely dedicated to her field?
Yep. And she often tries using her old age as a means of drumming up support for her ideas. However, I think she'd prefer to be complained about for using her seniority rather than garnering sympathy for her experience of being trapped in the ruins.
Yeah, sounds like she's quite the character.
I know, right? Okay, so now that we've covered her backstory, why don't we take a look at Faruzan's
Yes,
abilities in
the
combat?
important stuff, the skills,
Fight.
talents.
100 years of
Bow
time,
user.
yet there hasn't
Saw
been
that.
anything
Stringless, so
done
she
for
elemental mastery
ages.
based. Well, she's an animal unit, but most of them are all pretty
Dare
much
to mess
elemental.
with me?
Alright, so the skill... Was that her charge shot? Did her charge shot just have a suction ability? So is that's gotta be the burst then, right there.
I love all
Or
the
does the
geometric
skill
shapes
change
when
her
she's
charge
playing.
shot?
Did you guys see that?
Yes, there's
And
so
so
much
like this little
geometry, and I
spear
took
that like
geometry.
track
looks
to
so
enemies
cool.
too.
Ah, yeah.
So, Faruzan is an animo character, and she wields a bow as her weapon. Her normal attacks are the usual bow attacks you'd expect from a bow user, so there's not too much to say about that. But her skills are where things get interesting. Her elemental skill deploys a polyhedron that deals damage to enemies. After using her skill, her next aimed shot will become a special attack that creates a
It looks like it has
vortex,
suction
pulling
too.
nearby objects and opponents in.
Oh, nice. So she can clump enemies together.
And
So,
there's
I'm
also
seeing
another
the
thing about
initial
her
shot,
charged attack. It will create a
but I
vortex
don't see
effect
any
at its point of
particles from
impact.
it.
And if the
Oh,
attack
there it
hits
goes.
an
There's two
enemy or ally
particles.
member, it'll apply a
It
mark
looks like
and
it
create
had
a
to
vortex after a short delay.
get it.
Okay.
Alright, so the
it
explosion
looks
gets
like there'll be
the
a lot of
charge
potential
shot,
uses for this attack.
and it
Travelers will
looks
have to
like
experiment with it and
the
see what they
charge
come up
shot
with.
Yeah.
gives you
I
energy
think it'd
too.
be amazing to try hitting teammates with the arrow in co-op mode. And
Yeah,
have them
so like
charge into
this,
the
the
enemy
activation of the
group
skill does
altogether.
not give you any
I'll have to
energy.
see
You
who
have
wants
to
to try that
shoot
with
with
me.
her, which means she's gonna have
After
to
unlocking
stay
the
on
talent
field for a
Impetuous Flow,
second
the time
to get a
required
charge
for
shot
fully
off in order to
charging
get the energy
Faruzan's
particles.
next shot will be reduced, and the arrow will reduce the target enemy's animo resistance. In her elemental burst,
Okay,
she
so that's
deploys
how
a
it buffs
dazzling
animal.
polyhedron and releases
The only
a
things
whirlwind
that
pulse.
shred animal
Throughout its
resistance are
duration,
Gene
the dazzling
C3
polyhedron will continuously move along a triangular path.
and I
Once
think
it reaches
like
each
some other
corner of that
constellation
triangular
Venti,
path,
something
it will
like that.
unleash one more whirlwind pulse.
So this is
Yeah,
why
one
people are
minute
saying that
she's
she buffs
here,
Shao,
next
but she'll be
she's
able to shred
probably
animal
gone
resistance.
for 100 years.
Yeah, so you can definitely run an attack crit damage based animal character with her as a support.
Even Sino's
Will
jokes
you
are
want
funnier
to
than
though?
that.
From like
Pretty funny.
grouping from either Sucrose or Kazuha though, just to get
Sure.
the resistance
When the
shred on
whirlwind
Animo?
pulse
Is
hits
that
opponents,
worth it?
It will decrease their animo resistance.
It might be though. She
It
runs
will also
Viridescent.
apply an animo damage buff effect to all nearby party members when it's unleashed.
Oh, and it gives the
Travelers should
animal
note that the
buff,
effective
so it
range of this buff
reduces
is quite large,
the
and
resistance
it's
to
not
animal,
just within
and
the
you get a
whirlwind pulse
buff.
itself. So so there's no need to go chasing the polyhedron.
So that actually might be worth it now.
After unlocking her talent,
If it's more than
Lost
like a
Wisdom
Thrilling
of the
Tales
Seven
buff with that
Caverns.
combination,
When a team member uses
that can be pretty
normal
good.
charged or plunging attacks, elemental skills, or elemental bursts to deal animo damage to an enemy, the damage will increase based on Faruzan's base attack. This effect
Base
can
attack?
only be triggered once for a certain duration.
So she's got
of time.
split scaling.
Seems she'll be the solid support.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, but they
And
didn't
as a
scale it off
researcher of
elemental
mechanics and
mastery though,
puzzles,
so
Faruzan has taken it upon herself to explore many ruins.
that's gonna
with
be
her travels
little-
taking her all across Sumeru. Her exploration talent reflects
so how will you get the
and
viridescent
she
shred? Are you
gained
gonna have to
more
run that
awards
on your
when dispatched
main
on a Sumeru
animal unit?
expedition
But
for 20 hours.
I'm sure no other mentor in Haravatat has 100 years of experience in solving
I can hate
puzzles.
split scaling characters, to be honest with you guys. I'm not a fan.
So the big question is, when can travelers
Based off her
expect to
attack.
get these new characters?
That is a good question. Let's talk about the upcoming event wishes. In the early part of version 3.3, the Wanderer and Arataki Ito will be available via their own event wishes. Faruzan will also be making her debut in these event wishes. In the later part of version 3.3, we'll
Raiden
be seeing
Shogun
rerun
and
event wishes for
Ayato.
both the Raiden Shogun and Kamisato Ayato.
Dang,
And last but
that's
not least,
tough.
the new 5-star catalyst, Tule Tula's Remembrance, will be appearing in a new weapon event wish.
And that's not all.
Man,
In
do you
version
want the
3.3,
Wanderer,
two
Raiden, or
brand new artifact
Ayato?
series
What a
will be coming
what a
out.
wish
So
lineup! My
travelers,
God,
be sure
dude.
to check out the corresponding domain.
Yo,
Woo,
burn all your
artifacts!
Primos
I
on the
hope
Wanderer.
travelers
Oh,
will
new
have fun
set,
experimenting and
animal
trying new
bonus,
combinations
obviously.
with these.
So
Yeah,
these are
okay.
geared towards him.
We've already talked
Increased
about a ton
elemental
of new
mastery.
content, so why don't we
Oh,
take
another
a quick break with another redemption
Intro
code?
set.
Sounds good. Roll out the code.
Woohoo!
Normal charge and plunging. Oh, is that a new Shao stat? Oh, new code. Let me blow that up so you guys can see the code. Just for a second. Man. Okay, so this has got me thinking. She scales off attack. I'm just trying to see this support Faruzan. She scales off attack. But she's an animal user, so you definitely wonder when Viridescent set on there to get the swirl shred resistance on whatever elements, right? And man. that one's gonna be tough. Like, do you want to do? Oh, wrong screen. My bad. Good browsing screen. Trying this one out. Do you guys want to do non-all elemental mastery, or do
Welcome back to the
you want
version
to-
3.3 special program. Okay, Patrick, what do we have next?
So
Oh, we got a
next,
new
we'll be
event, too.
covering the upcoming events for the new version.
That's right. We've already mentioned the Test of Courage event, and I'm sure plenty
Oh, is
of
that
you
a
were
new
wondering
claymore
about
for
that,
him?
So let's start
Oh, it's a
there.
sword.
Aha! You must be here to participate in the test of courage.
Watch this
I can
trailer.
already
We'll
see
theory
a
craft a
dark
little
aura
afterward.
surrounding the two of you. If you carelessly go running into the event, all it'll take is one little misstep, and the darkness will swallow you up. Some strange and unusual things may occur along the way. If you ever feel you can't handle it, you may withdraw from the event at any time. This is your last chance. I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the test of courage.
So it looks
Enter
like
at
this
your
is
own
happening
risk.
in Inazuma. I wonder if there's like
that
some
was pretty interesting.
type of like horror theme or something, or a holiday in Japan why this is occurring
Yeah,
like this.
I mean, it is a test of courage.
Sometimes
so
they
I'm sure there'll be some
take
scary
ideas
stuff going on there.
Real life
I ain't
stuff.
scared.
Anyway, to successfully
That was a
play
whack
this
trailer,
event,
though.
We'll be facing a series of little tests.
Ooh, what's this? Tests, you say?
Yes, that's right.
That's a new Ascension
Word has
material.
it
That's
that if you
probably
walk
for the
around test of
Wanderer.
courage, you might find yourself encountering
seen
a
that
special
before.
sort of game. We've already got the rules down, so I'll do a quick introduction. Basically, travelers will have to control a bouncing bar to bounce a ball and use skill ball effects to break as many bricks as possible.
Okay,
Fuck,
I'm liking
bro.
this one. Seems pretty straightforward.
Oh, these mini
Travelers will be able
games.
to trigger elemental reactions
Trash.
to break bricks more effectively.
Nice! It even has elemental reactions.
Yeah, we can control the
How about I
characters
just
who
use
use
my
the
characters
When the
that I've
character
developed for
uses
elemental
either
reactions
pyro,
to do
hydro,
stuff in the
cryo, or
game?
electro, the corresponding element will be applied to the bar. By switching characters, you can change the element of the bar.
Okay, all the pieces are falling in place now. The bar can infuse a certain element, and the blocks also have their own elements. So causing a skill ball of one element to hit blocks of different elements will trigger elemental reactions. There, how'd I do?
Yep, you nailed it. The bar will add the element corresponding to your character. Besides triggering reactions the way you just mentioned, if a skill ball is already infused by an element and it hits the bar, it will also trigger a reaction, causing the skill ball to have some additional effects. When preparing your team, you can equip modifiers to receive various buff effects, which will help you successfully clear the challenge.
This is so disappointing.
Also,
So they're
there are
using
less
their
than a
game
certain amount of
mechanics
bricks on the board, and the
in
ball
these
lands
little
another
events,
hit.
but we
The
can't
bar
use the
will
characters that
unleash
we actually have to wish for
Yeah.
to like their
Travelers
combat,
can
their
utilize
skills,
this
their
effect
talents.
to
Well,
break
what's the
some bricks
point,
that
bro?
would
Like,
normally be difficult to hit directly.
It's like a bonus attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
So travelers will need to
so
select
disappointing.
characters
The
of
Abyss
the
is
right
still the
element,
only thing you can
equip
really
the
use.
appropriate modifiers, and
Like,
use
why?
different
Why go for all these
elemental reactions
artifacts,
to break
sets, combos
bricks
if you
and
can't
score
do
more
anything?
points.
And then travelers will be able to use their points to exchange for
I get
rewards
it.
in the event shop, correct?
Large casual
right.
audience.
Also, travelers will
They
have the
aren't
option
completing-
of teaming up and playing the event together in co-op
Oh, at
mode.
least they made it
Oh,
co-op.
looks like a lot of
Jesus, they
fun.
don't make anything
Yeah, super
co-op. It
fun.
felt like.
Yeah, in addition to this minigame, the Test of Courage storyline will also contain more challenges. Travelers will even have a
Bruh.
chance to meet with some good friends again, so be sure to check out this new event. All right, let's move on to our next event.
Okay, so next up, we have a race event called Across the Wilderness. Your objective,
Across-
collecting balloons.
Woo!
I don't know, seems like the Wanderer's abilities might come in real handy here.
Yeah,
I
this
know,
motherfucker
right?
can fly.
So, in this event, each
I hope he
stage will
flies
have
faster than
wilderness
gliding.
balloons scattered all around. Travelers will need to find as many wilderness balloons as possible within the time limit to earn.
I might
increasingly
wish
better
that
rewards.
character just for
So during the challenge,
being able to traverse the land,
travelers
like
will be
flying.
able to
Come on,
utilize
dude.
their character's skills and talents. So it'll be important to assemble the right team depending on the traits and terrain
Fucking
of the
fly.
challenge area.
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, so travelers can also
Raiden
do
and
something
Ayato though
called
are the follow-up
Wilderness
banners though.
Compass to
Raiden
obtain
is
various
pretty
buffs,
fucking
which
strong, and
includes
she can play
enhanced jumping
different ways now.
capabilities,
Dendra release.
increased movement
Ayato's a
speed,
good
or
hydro
infinite
applicator to a
stamina,
degree. Like his
etc.
burst is pretty nice for
However,
off-field
you can
hydro
only claim
application.
one buff during each
And he's
challenge.
like a really
You must
easy to
consume
use child,
blessed
right? Like
energy
he's got
to use the
5-star
compass
scalings.
and gain the selected buff. You may charge the compass up
Oh,
by
down the
finding
button, just
wilderness
slash,
balloons
slash, slash,
or
slash.
interacting with blessed energy in the challenge. Or
I
you
use
can
them over
always
child
wait the
just for
compass to
simplicity.
passively charge over
Got
time.
time to be
Yo,
managing
this event
cooldowns
looks
and
pretty
timing.
Crazy. It's almost like watching
Even though he doesn't
parkour.
have as much hydro application,
Yeah, there are two different kinds of wilderness balloons in these
definitely has what he
challenges.
needs.
The first is harvest balloons, which will increase the overall progress of your search for wilderness balloons. The other kind is sonar
God, bro,
balloons,
these events.
which will cause several harvest balloons to appear around you for a set amount of time.
That's awesome.
Look, if you're
So
gonna make
there will
these
be
events,
5
all events better
stages
be
available
co-op,
for this
bro.
event, and travelers will need to consider the conditions and terrain of each stage
All
to come up with
events.
the best way to complete it. Also, travelers
these
may
events
team
in
up
here.
in co-op mode for
Thank you.
challenges.
All right.
Ooh, more
At least they're
things
starting to
play
like
together.
figure
I
that
love
part
it.
out. Like
Yeah,
we're gonna do these
same.
events, and
Okay,
like you have
let's
no
move on
other
to our
co-op
next event.
shit, right? And like
Everyone's favorite
everyone has
game
to do all
of
the
hide
combat
and
by
seek is
themselves.
back with the Windtrace event. And of
God,
course,
Windtrace is
it's going to
trash.
be another co-op event, and I for one am super excited for it.
There's nothing like a good co-op. Many of you might already be familiar with this event by now, but there have been a few changes. Let me introduce what travelers can expect to see this time around. We can probably skip some of the basics this time. You know, players either hide or seek. And then...
Okay, wait a second. There actually might be some new travelers out there who've never seen this event before.
Ah.
So, why don't you start with some of the basics?
Right, good
Look,
point.
the hide and seek
Let's
thing was
start at the
cool
beginning.
like the first
This
day, and
is
that was
a
it.
game with a long history in
Like, you
Monster.
know how long you had to
Travelers
play
will be
that
split into two
just to
different
get what you
sides,
need, and then like some of the
rebels
conditions
and the
to
hunter.
get the
You'll need
primos
to
were.
use skills and master the art of hiding or chasing down
I'll
others
tell you
to
one
win
thing,
this
it
event.
is a bit more
The
fun
goal of
with
the
your
hunter
group. Like if
is
it's
to
just
capture all
you
the
and your
rebels, while
homies
the rebels
in there in a group of
run
4,
or use other means to keep themselves from
messing
getting
around
caught
by
the
yourselves,
hunter.
it's a
Okay,
bit more
that's
enjoyable.
straightforward enough.
But like,
So, what else you got for us?
Well, some travelers may remember playing as the rebels and getting caught early in the game.
yeah,
Once that would
super
happen,
easy.
all you could do was
Just
spectate
sit there and
watch the
watch and do
rest as
nothing.
The others continue playing. But this time around, once you're caught, you'll still be able to participate in the match even in observer mode.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Once you're in observer mode, you can't be seen by other players and will receive the illusory beacon skill. This skill will allow you to place a random beacon to confuse the hunter. If your beacon successfully tricks the hunter and is destroyed, then the hunter will suffer an obscured vision effect.
So
That seems kind of
even
trash for the
after
hunter,
you've
to be
been
honest with you.
captured, you can be like a little ghost.
Because it's
that helps
already
your
searched the
teammates
map, and some
disrupting
people
the
get
hunter.
real
That's
crazy
pretty
with how they
fun.
hide themselves.
And
Like
at
I've
least you won't
seen
have to
people
sit
not
there
be
and
able to get
just
found.
Watch the rest of the match anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, but still,
what does
though.
the hunter get this time? I mean, we gotta keep it fair.
Some new Windward arts have been added for both the hunter and the rebels. The hunter will now be able to use the hunter's net. This net can be thrown and will remove any rebel disguises within its range, and will notify the hunter that a rebel was detected. If a beacon is caught in the net, it will be destroyed and the hunter will not suffer from obscured vision.
Nice. So I guess.
So
if you
obviously
love
that's gonna
playing
be the
hunter,
skill
you'll
you need to
probably love
use.
this.
Oh yeah, you definitely should.
No,
The
that's
skill rebels used
mandatory.
in previous versions of the game to place beacons.
The only way you
now
can
only
counter
be
that
used
shit.
by players in observer mode. However, the rebels will be able to use an all-new concealing beacon skill. This skill will allow you to deploy a beacon for a set duration and remain invisible while you're around that beacon. All players, including your rebel teammates, will be unable to see you while you're invisible. If the concealing beacon is destroyed by the hunter, then the hunter will have their vision obscured for a short time. Sounds pretty fun, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so even if you end up being captured by the hunter at the start of the game, you'll still be able to participate and assist your teammates. And, did I mention Primo Gems and other rewards? Ah, the good stuff. So be sure to check it out.
Oh, that's awesome. Seriously, I can't wait to play with friends. Okay, our next event
I can.
is a combat-based event.
Time for some combat!
Oh my
In a
god, that's
forbidden
cat.
place warded by dust
No way.
and sand. Mysterious foes
They're
have
actually giving us a
assembled lines of
combat-based event.
fortifications
Okay, something I
to
might be
stop
interested in.
your coming.
Please don't let it be like
That's
Haki and
right,
Ito,
a new
like
edition of
or
Misty
Iki.
Dungeon will arrive
It's
in
cool,
version
but I want to use my
3.3.
whole squad.
Stoked.
Sweet.
But this time around, there will be a total of 7 trials with different themes awaiting you in the Misty Dungeon. Each has a different leyline disorder, and travelers will have to adjust their teams according to the disorder's effects and the distribution of enemies.
So you can use
There
trial
will
characters
also be
or
trial characters for you to select from as well. After entering the domain,
Smart.
travelers
Trial
will need to
characters,
go
which are
and
our
complete
banners.
3 challenges to collect ancient runes. After collecting power from 3 ancient runes, we can power up the control array and proceed to the final challenge. Also, throughout the trial, additional
busted
bed
hyperbloom
edition
team.
mechanisms and challenges will appear. Travelers may choose to interact with these to increase the leyline disorder's effects or revive and heal your team.
You know,
They actually
if we're up
displayed
to
a
me,
really
I'd say
strong
just
team.
go for all the challenges.
I know, but travelers should keep in mind that the challenge objective for each trial might be different, so be sure to check the objective and aim for that while proceeding. In terms of rewards, travelers can look forward to winning Primo Gems and other various prizes. Yes!
Ooh, I like prizes.
And last but not least, version 3.3 will also have leyline overflow events. Travelers can look forward to saving their resin and
meh.
earning more Mora and experience books.
Nice, that's awesome.
That's
That'll
meh.
be great for all the travelers out there still leveling up all their new characters. And even if you don't need those resources now, it's always good to stock up and have more on hand, am I right?
Yeah. So, travelers looking to upgrade their characters won't want to miss this.
Yeah, I mean, this is all good stuff.
In addition to the new version's limited time events, version 3.3
Oh, their
will
trading
also
card
be
game is
adding
officially
a
out
new
now, huh?
permanent game mode called
Okay.
Genius Invocation TCG.
Genius Invokation TCG!
But before we get into that, let's take another quick break and enjoy a redemption code.
Alright, so this is the last code.
Slap that code on the screen!
We'll put it in full screen mode just a quick second so you guys can see the code. Alright, so let's theory craft a little bit. Faruzan. I really want to talk about Faruzan. Split scaling, because all animal characters traditionally, there are some few exceptions like Shao, where you want to run them with Iridescent Venera set because the swirl damage increase in the shred on the element, but she has scaling from attack in order to transfer the damage to her animal unit that she's using. So like if you're running Shao, is it worth it to replace Sucrose, who's his primary support that people have been using in most of their meta compositions within each Shao team, right? So like, she runs Thrilling Tales, she groups, and she gets a resistant shred on the element. Now granted, Faruzan can shred.
Welcome back, everyone. During our journey into that, we've stumbled across several NPCs talking about a game called Genius Invocation TCG.
Shred.
So next,
The animal resistance.
This card game that's been taking to bat by
Is
storm.
that warranted enough not to run Viridescent so that you do standard, or do you run Viridescent and maybe have an attack sans
actually a legend behind this game.
in order to give the buff? Like, is the buff based off her base attack? I feel like we need to read what her talents do. If it's just based off her overall attack, then obviously putting on a high attack based weapon with maybe an attack sans and then 2 elemental mastery sans, or sans goblet and circlet, or Viridescent shred.
During the match,
like, I don't think you want to run her standard attack damage crit base. Like, I feel like that's not quite, but maybe swapping out 1 EM stance dead. That way you can still get the shred on the Viridescent set bonus, and then still pass her attack bonus. But it's got to be at least as strong as Thrilling Tales attack bonus gain in order for that to be like worth it.
It turns out that Yai Publishing House is about to release a hit light novel series based on Genius Invocation TCG.
No, they're not.
Okay, now this is starting to sound
Stop
like
Genshin. Stop your voice.
Maybe. But anyway,
Hit light novel.
that's the legend on how Genius Invocation TCG came to be.
They're trying to hype up this card game.
Probably just a story they came up with for marketing the game.
It's 100% it's a story they came up with marketing the game.
Researching the rules to the game. Basically, Genius Invocation TCG is a game where you use a constructed deck of cards to duel against an opponent. The objective is to defeat all of your opponent's character cards.
That's right.
Also, there are many features and mechanics in the game that resonate with Genshin Impact's gameplay, so it shouldn't be too hard for players to get the hang of.
Right, I even saw some elemental reactions in the gameplay.
Yup, a constructed deck must contain character cards, and as you might expect, these character cards have a normal attack, an elemental
they have
skill,
weapon buffs?
and an elemental burst. So when a character card deals elemental damage to an enemy,
I am a little
cause
curious
them
just
to be
because I play
affected by
Yu-Gi-Oh,
that
you know what I
element.
mean? But like at the
Then,
same time,
you
am
can
I trying to
switch
learn a
to
new trick
character
in
card
card
of
game?
a different element and use their abilities to trigger an element.
I might watch some videos on it though.
Wait, did you guys notice that there are even monster character cards? Can we even make a deck of, like, just the monsters from the game?
You're really getting into this, Max.
Heck yeah, I am! I like card games!
Who doesn't?
So in Genius Invocation TCG, all actions require you to spend elemental dice. Each round, both you and your opponent will roll 8 elemental dice. Each of these elemental dice can have any one of 8 elemental attributes.
Hold on, but there's only 7 elements in the world of Teyvat.
You're right. So in addition to the 7 standard elements, there's also one called the Omni Element. The elemental dice required for a character card to perform an action correspond to the character's element. So, for example, a Pyro character like D-Luke needs either Pyro or Omni Elemental dice to perform an action. Clear now?
Yep, crystal clear.
Also, elemental dice can be used to switch characters or play a variety of other cards, such as equipment cards, event cards, and support cards. All these cards create the potential for a variety of strategies.
Right. While playing Genius Invocation TCG, travelers can earn player experience, which will increase your player level. As your level increases, you'll be able to challenge more characters and NPCs. By completing challenges, you may earn lucky coins, new cards, or other rewards.
It does give you
Lucky
primos.
coins
I
can
might
be
try for the
exchanged in the
primos.
event shop for cards, or
I haven't
can
been
even
spending
unlock
on this game for
dynamic
quite a
skins
while
for
now.
certain cards.
Dynamic skins? Those are cards that have moving illustrations, right?
That's right. All character cards can unlock a dynamic
And don't
skin.
get me wrong, I wasn't
After
spending
unlocking
heavy. I was
that,
definitely a
there'll
budget
even be a cool
budget
bonus
player.
animation whenever you cast that character's
No
elemental
dolphin
burst.
or welling over here, guys.
And if you're confident in your TCG skills, you can also invite a friend to duel. After reaching a high enough player level,
Since I haven't even
you'll
really been
even
doing that
unlock a
at all either.
matchmaking mode. So be
Might be
sure
a
to
way
give
to
it a
me
try.
stack up. That
Travelers
way I don't have
should
to
note
play
that
every
playing
event.
against your friends or other
I've been
travelers
skipping a couple
won't
of these
count
events.
towards any leaderboards
That
or
photo
provide
event
any
trash.
rewards. So you can relax. It's all
Longest
just
event.
for fun.
Annoying and
Okay,
kind of mad. I need
that's
to use my
everything we
characters
have
in
for
place.
Genius Invocation TCG, and that brings us to the end of
But kinda
today's
trash,
special
too.
program.
Oh.
So, what did
That's
you
it.
think?
We wrapped it up.
Does it have to be over? There's so
Does
much
it have to
this
be
version has
over?
to offer.
Yeah, I can't even take it all in right now. I'm just super stoked to be part of this. I think I just gained some Kuguryoku points just doing this whole thing, so.
Man, the new characters look cool.
All right, let's talk about the Wanderer
That's
though.
I know,
insane.
that's awesome.
So I feel like you're not
That's
gonna
awesome,
run
and I
Viridescent set
cannot
on
wait
him.
to play
Because it
the
sounded
event
like
mini
when he's in
games.
his
I'm super
skill, he
excited.
doesn't swirl, but like just get
This was
buffs,
so
kind of like
fun.
in the heater,
I'm
like
really
he just
glad
changes
that we
attributes.
got
So
to do the
I'm
special
definitely
program
thinking
together.
I'm so happy I got to come
attack
back
damage
for another
crit
special
setup
program. This is my
for him.
third time being
Gonna
on one of these,
buy
and
these
I
guys
can't
that
wait for number 4.
don't matter anymore.
I'm so happy. This is my first one, so thank you for having me.
So if that's the case, you definitely want a support character like Faruzan, because she animal shreds.
I really do.
I can see why they come out together at first banner.
This is the end of our special
And I can see why people think she's going to be a support for Shao, because now
See you in game.
you can just shred Animo. Really need to
Bye, everyone.
relate it to the oh my god, do anything related to actual like element swirling, which I feel like you should though, because this game is a game of reactions. And well, how did I get like 2 seconds to respond to that? All right, let's go back to host. And let's think about, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things going on there. Let's down. Let's blew my apartment. Break out the hoodie. But there's just gonna be some fun stuff, at least for this update. I don't know if, man, should I wish for the Wanderer? Just being able to fly around is kind of helpful. You know what I mean? Like that in general is super good, just because traversing a lot of their area is kind of, man, there's no mounts. Why are there no mounts in the game? Why do I have to walk across everything or slow dash? Barely any tools that can help get around. Gliding is slow as fuck if you don't have the Tengu fan. But Wanderer seems interesting. At least he's different. Man, I really don't like the split scaling on Faruzan, but I suppose if it had been a buff off EM, that'd been better. Her grouping looks kind of weak too, because it looks like you have to charge shot. I didn't really see any grouping on her burst. That may be something we can review later or whatever. Anyone who might be in. But for now, I think that's pretty good. We've gone over this. So this has been the Hot Take Live number 10. I hope you guys enjoy the VOD and check this out later. It'll be up on YouTube soon. Well, export. So until next time, catch you guys on the next stream, which should actually be later today. I might do it a little earlier since I'm actually off today. I didn't have to work. Shout outs to me. But until then, catch you guys on the Magic. You can catch me Zero the Magic Zero, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Peace.